Hey, good morning. Happy Friday. I am Connie and I decided to go live today to make a couple of scrapbook pages that I think I'm going to use this year for our holiday pages. I really saw this really cool layout that was like color blocked, and I thought I want to try it with the Silver Bells paper and just see how it turns out. I got my coffee. This is actually iced coffee. It's the Stokes peppermint coffee, which I love, mixed with my Premier protein, and that way I can drink this and have my peppermint, and it's a little bit nutritious at the same time for me because I don't eat enough right now. I'm on Weight Watchers and I feel like I don't eat enough protein. So anyway, just waiting to see if anyone joins me, but here is the special starting December 1st. It is called Skylark. Just to show you some of the colors and a couple of cards here that I made. I just left it in the bag. Today I was like, I don't want to show all of this yet, but it is available as an amazing bundle. There's a great stamp set in it. There's the pages. I showed these one other time before, and it's a really cool set. And so it has a great stencil too. Can't see it very well through my bag. No, not at all really. But it is a kind of an all over floral leafy print. You can kind of see it stenciled onto my layout. Anyway, I will show these like Wednesday or something. In the meantime, set that aside. Today is a play day. I need to work on my Christmas cards. I have several that are like finished, but I have some non-close to my heart ones that I want to work on. And so since I need to play around a little bit today and make a few extra cards, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go live and show this layout. So I pulled out my trees, my countdown to Christmas, which is sold out. I'm so sorry, but I use this on everything. I absolutely love it. I hope you got it. This is the Silver Bells card making workshop that has all those great dies, and it has all these great stamps, which I'm going to use a couple of them today. This is the Evergreen card making workshop, which has this amazing layered die, and it has these great words, which I'm going to use some of those today. So you can tell the card making workshops is where I spent my money this year on this catalog. This is that Design Elements stamp that came out in the last catalog that they decided to make more of because everybody was begging for it. And you know, this is the one I used on that nativity scene, some of my ornaments. I'm going to use this crackle one today and this little lined one. And so I just wanted to show you where those, you know, came from. I have a lot of stamps. I bet you have a lot of stamps, seriously. Okay, so the Silver Bells has basically 3 different colors. It has 4, but I want to use 3 different colors. And I wanted the kind of silver gold off-white look. So the silver is kind of like charcoal or mink. We'll see how that looks. And toffee kind of looks gold when it's, you know, stamped and on the paper. So these are the main colors of that Silver Bells layout. If you decide you want to buy the inks or whatever, or the papers, this is kind of what you'll get. So there's that. I will use those in a minute. I have a couple of sheets of white for our backgrounds, and what I decided today is that I want to use the reinkers. You can use the inks instead of the reinkers, but just for ease, for this technique, since I want to do a color block sponge. It's just easier to use the reinkers for me than to, you've seen me before where I smear the ink on and spray it with water and make it all liquidy. Well, basically I'm going to do the same thing, only I'm going to use the reinkers to do this. So I'm going to set those aside. Now, the other things that I have is, you know, those round sponges that Close to My Heart sells, or you can get them in any, you know, get them in the paint area of like Michael's or at Menards or Hobby. Just get a sponge. It doesn't matter. This is a cheap sponge, I'm telling you. And what I do is I just, as I use it, I cut it into parts and use that for different inking techniques and stuff. And so I always have at least one sponge on hand, and as I use it up, I add a new one to my cart the next time I order, because I'm always using them. And not only that, but I can reuse these. I have a big pile of them. I have like a tray of these sponges in different colors that I'll grab, sometimes a dauber, or, you know, I just have this little tray near my stamp table, and I just grab whatever color is close enough. But for this one, I just cut 3 new ones. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this over, and I'm going to start with the light. I want to do like the mink, the toffee, and the charcoal. And I'm going to take this reinker, and I always shake them up. Sometimes, you know, you don't use them a lot, and so the pigment will settle in there. And so I just like to mix it up again. Make sure that you're not getting just water, basically. And so I'm just gonna put a glob of ink on my table. This is mink color. And then the other thing, I always have, you know, I always have my water brush. You don't need a water brush. I just need a source of water. I always keep like a squirt bottle around, and you can just add a little water to that to water it down just a little bit. And then I'm going to use my mink. Sorry, I had to figure out which one it was. And I'm basically gonna tap into that color and get my sponge damp, right? If you have a paper towel or something around, you can test it. You can see that mink, even though it's kind of a, so I'm just gonna swipe. Even though mink is like a really super, you know, light color, when you use it like this, it gets it looks a lot darker. So there's my mink, and on my second page, I'm gonna set that aside a second while I have the mink out. I'm gonna tap some of that color. I'm gonna tap a little bit onto this edge over here, kind of smush it around a little bit. Okay, that is all of the mink that I'm going to use for that. So I'm going to wipe that up. These all-purpose mats are super amazing for doing projects like this where they're messy. You can see. Now I'm doing toffee re-inker, and I'm going to put just a couple drops of water. That's why I use my water brush instead of a squirt. It's just keeps it a little bit. Okay. And now I'm going to bring my paper back, and I'm going to do a swash of the toffee. And I am intentionally making it so that there's white space on the sides, white space at the top. I want some white space. As a matter of fact, I'd rather have this smaller even than what I have here. All right, and I'm gonna bring in that second page again, and while I have that toffee out, I'm going to sponge a little up here. It will dry lighter than what it looks like right now, which is good because it's pretty dark, but the more water you add, the lighter it will look on your paper. So that's good. All right. And I just want that block of color. The third color I'm going to use is charcoal. And for some reason, my charcoal, I don't know why, it doesn't like to squirt. So I'm tapping it out here. It's like the little, I don't think it's blocked. There's nothing solid in there. It's just a weird bottle. Anyway, charcoal. And add a drop or two of water. And you don't really need a water brush for this. It's just for me, I'm not near a sink when I'm crafting. And so it's nice to have a source for water. So my water brushes and a squirt bottle have to do. All right, so now at the bottom here, I'm going to swoosh just like that. All right, and I'm gonna bring in my second page, and I want to do a little bit. Where do I want to do this? Maybe off to the side down here. Obviously, I don't really care too much about how this looks, okay? Because I'm not being too careful. All right, clean that up. Now, that's pretty much my messy part. I kind of want to separate these color blocks. This feels pretty dry. So I have my heat gun here that I could, you know, use just to make sure it's pretty dry. It's not really all that wet. I didn't use that much water. Okay. But because I want to stamp on it. But first, I kind of want to separate these color blocks a little bit. And so I got out some of the zip strips from the Silver Bells collection. And so I want to put those on. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to make them straight, whatever, eyeball it. And just kind of put, I really love this. This is my favorite paper from Silver Bells. Just try to kind of separate these out a little bit. They don't have to be perfect in any way because your whole design is kind of irregular to some degree. The other strip I really loved was this one, and I think I'm going to put it here at the bottom. Sorry, I'll use my liquid glue. I'm going to put it right here. All right. Try to make it as straight as I can. Now, if you are really like, I need this straight, use your T-ruler. See how I did? Use your T-ruler and you can line that up to the side and then make it straight. I did pretty darn good. on both of these. You can tell this one's pretty straight too. So I didn't do too bad. All right. I'm good at, I'm fairly good at eyeballing stuff like that. Now I cut, this is my left-hand page, and I made some photo mats ahead of time, and I decided I was going to use black, but I decided to use charcoal. And these are 3x4 size pictures, and when you put, so I cut the white 1/4 inch bigger, so it's like 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, and then the charcoal is 3 1/2 by 4 1/2, and that way each level will have, you know, like a darker, like a 2 matte finish. And I love how this page is coming together. This reminds me a lot of, do you remember that page that we did in the summer where it was like pink and yellow and blue, and you know, it had stripes going up and down. It's very similar. I just color blocked it the other direction. And on that page, we did embellishments in that color. And I'm like, well, this is exactly what I want to do. But I want to stamp and play a little bit on this paper. So the first thing I want to do is a little bit of stenciling. So this is that big stencil. I hope you can see it. It says life is measured by moments in time, and then there's like a clock with clock hands. There's a ruler, and there's this brick. There's also kind of a cool border at the top and this little icon thing at the bottom. So there's a lot of different parts to this, and this is one of the few. I did not cut this stencil apart. I had planned on it, and then I was like, well, I don't know. Do I need to? Everything's sort of far enough apart. I'm not sure I need to. And so what I want to do is I want to use that measuring tape, the ruler, and use it in the toffee section. So I have to get out my toffee ink, because I'm doing like tone on tone, right? And then the other thing, if you have a piece of silicone mat or something to put your ink pad on, it won't wiggle around while you're trying to swirl your brush on there. I'm just going to line this up really good and hold it in place. See, it's moving because it's on my all-purpose mat. Let's see, instead of my desk. So I'm just going to put this on, and I don't need it all the way across. I don't need it perfect, because remember my photo, you know, mat is going to cover some of this anyway. And I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to put my photo mats yet. I just have an idea. So I'm just going to, I want it to be dark enough to show through, but not crazy like, hold on a minute. Let me get my rag. I'm going to wipe this off so I don't have, I'm lazy. I don't want to wash my stencil. Okay. So there's that. That adds another, you know, layer, another line, right? I really like how that looks. I don't think I'm going to, I thought about stenciling a little bit of brick, but I've got other plans. So that's all the stenciling I'm going to do right now. I just wanted that little something back there. Don't know why. Okay, so let's start at the top with mink ink, and I have that Mary from the, I'm cleaning up my desk just a little bit here. Hold on. Okay, sorry, I had to get some stuff out of my space. It's amazing how I have this huge desk, but I have such a small workspace. So I have this Mary from that card collection, and one of the things that will really improve your success rate is to use one of these little pieces of foam behind where you want to stamp it, so that especially when you're doing sort of a solid. And then I'm going to just put it right here. And I'm pushing, I'm putting pressure on the whole thing. I'm not rocking it back and forth because I may have gotten ink, you know, like on the edges. So I'm just being careful. And then I always just wipe this off with my stamp chamois. Ta-da. Okay. I really like that a lot. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to do is I wanted to use this. You can kind of see it is also from that card making set, and it's just a border, and I just wanted some of this like Christmas border on here, and I don't need it all the way across. I just, because some of it will be covered up anyway. But, wow, I really like that. These little lined images like this that have just a little bit of pattern to them are some of my favorite stamps. And that one's from the Silver Bells card making. So, I don't know how well you can see it, but it's tone on tone, it's super light, but so it's not over the top. And you can see, like, I'll have, not a whole lot of it will show, but it will be there. All right, on to the middle. I have some things I want to stamp, but I need to lay it something out first. The bottom, let's do charcoal. Charcoal ink. And remember I told you I wanted to use this lined stamp. So this is the thing. I want to use this lined stamp, but I don't want it to be a full 1-inch block. And so I'm going to get out a piece of scratch paper, if I can find one. Oh, sorry. It takes me a sec. I have stuff on my floor over here, and so I'm sitting here trying to get to it without stumbling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my piece of paper down, my scratch paper down, kind of like I want the lines to show beyond the charcoal, but I want them pretty even. And so I'm going to put this scratch paper down, and it will make it more even for me. And all I'm going to do is try to space those lines fairly even across the page. And you can see I have them kind of going into the charcoal, but not very much. See, I'm going downhill. Gotta rearrange. And so I just wanted, I don't know why, I wanted to use this stamp like border. I really like how that looks. It's going to a lot be covered up, so it's not like it's gonna be like so bold in your face, okay? It's not going to be like crazy. You see how this is? I mean, we can cover up any part of that. I mean, look at how much my photo mat covers. So it won't show gobs and gobs, okay? So let me just lay these out one more time to see where I want this to show. So I definitely want this over here to the top, and I think I want this one over here, and then this one I think will be a little more centered like this. So now I have this weird crackle effect that I want to use. And I have only used this stamp a couple of times so far. And I'm using it in charcoal. But I want that crackle effect to pop out behind. I should put my foam down. But this is not intended to be like, it's not intended to be like a perfect stamped image. It's a background, you know what I mean? So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do a little over here. Push, push, push. Okay. And then see how it kind of pops out from behind my picture frames there. Okay. Now I think I am ready to embellish and decorate. So this Mary isn't as dark as I would have liked it to be, but it's not terrible. Let me see. I don't know for sure. But what I did was I made a whole bunch of embellishments in the different colors. So I stamped and cut out little tags and ornaments and some of the stamped images. So there's I also have silver. I have a few little sprigs in silver. I don't know if I'll use them or not. And then in toffee, I have a little tag. I used a little bit of the gold glitter. I hope you can see that on my camera. I'll move it over just a little. And some pine cones. I'm grabbing. I have a stamped image and a couple of glitter. So the theme on each level is going to be the ornaments. I have some in charcoal here. And then I wanted the little pine sprig boughs on each level also. And I cut them in the light and the dark side of the cardstock. I made this cute little postage. I made this little circle thing. And then out of the, I showed you I used triangle trees. I just did this one on the light side of charcoal, the dark side of charcoal, and I white embossed it. Isn't that pretty? I love it. So I thought those would be cool down here in the corner of the layout, like that. So I know I want my trees in the corner. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere these because these are something I have in my head and I know that's what I want. So I'm going to do that. Now I went ahead and added foam tape. I was so sure this is where I wanted the trees. Everything else is up for whatever, but the trees, I knew I wanted an anchoring image down here in the corner. And so I like how that looks. Now, in a lot of the color block things, the anchoring image is like the title, but I didn't put anything but Mary on this one. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Let's start at the top. So I didn't adhere this down yet. And I definitely know, I really like this and I love the silver with it. The other option I would have would be to add my silver marker, and you can, color this in and make it silver. I'm just gonna color a little bit of it in so you can see what that would look like. I didn't color at all, but you can see it's metallic and it looks really cool. It would not need the glitter, but because I used glitter on the rest of the page, I thought, I'll use silver glitter paper for that too. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that on. And I definitely, I really like how that looks. So I'm gonna go ahead and adhere that onto the mink area. And you'll see that I made it so my stamping line and my Mary show, just like that. And I really love this little doodad here, but I think he needs popped up a little bit. I don't have to use really thick foam tape on these, because on a scrapbook page, you know, I don't always use super thick foam tape, but I do like to make sure it's pretty secure so it doesn't mash. So I'm gonna go ahead and foam tape that, just like that. And then I have my little sprigs. Now, I have a dark and a light. It's hard to see on camera, dark and light. But I think I'm gonna tuck this behind here. Ooh, that's pretty. Yeah. That's what I want. And I don't want to do I don't want to adhere the whole thing. I just want the base part of it down. And I like that. It's surprising when you kind of curl paper, it really will show up like a little bit dimensional in your book. Even though it gets smashed down, it still looks a little fluffy like. So that's what I'm doing for that. And then I have the Stories of the Season, which I am not sure I need to use or want to use. I don't know. Oh, I kind of like that there. Ooh, I think I will. I made it. I might as well glue it on. Okay, I'm just gonna put that there. So you can see I color blocked those. Now the other thing I cut that I'm not sure, I have these little glitter like sprigs. Oh, I wasn't gonna use them, but man, that's neat looking. Okay, I will. Always adding more. I'm gonna put that on there. I have two of them. I have a bigger one. There's two die cuts in that set. I swear to God, they're tiny, 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 tiny. I need to get out my tweezer because dang, they're tiny. So there, you can see it. So there's a straight one and there is a curled one. And I'm just looking to see how I want this on here. And the hard part is gluing these, which is why I need to purchase more of those adhesive sheets. The adhesive sheets are, before you die cut your images, you put this adhesive, double stick tape kind of adhesive on the back, and it's acid free and everything. And you just, then you die cut everything, and then it turns all of your images into stickers, which is so amazing. I just haven't, I need to use it on these little pieces, and especially the pine cones, because gluing these together, not fun. Okay, so I've more or less finished this part. Okay, now let's move on to Toffee. Actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and adhere my mat at the top. Now, since I do not have any real rhyme or reason to where these go. I don't care if these are all in a row. I don't care if they're wonky. I don't care how they look. I'm treating each block as its own deal, and I feel like it will turn out okay. That's kind of my theory. We'll see how close I am. I kind of like the idea of it being all in a line, or with all the embellishments over here, which I could totally do like this, or I could make them more wonky, which I kind of like them zigzaggy a little bit. So let's just see. Now this tag, I didn't intend for the entire tag to show. I thought it would like kind of poke out behind the photo a little bit like that. And then I have, of course, my ornaments that I'm gonna put on there. And I have the sprigs. I like that they're basically the same. I like that. You may want to make yours different. And I love the pine cones, so I'm going to put those over here. I love it. That's exactly what I want to do. Okay, so let me just start adhering. And, you know, the hardest part of this layout, honestly, is just having all your parts and pieces. And so what I recommend, honestly, is anytime you are playing with any of your stamp sets, cut extra, make extra, do more than what you had intended to do. You know, like if you need one of each ornament, you know, to make a card, cut 3, cut 4. There's no reason why you can't just make more of them. And the best part of that is that then you have like get a little tray of all these little images, or keep them in your stamp set. And then when you come up with projects like this, you know, a lot of times I don't have to cut anymore. I have them all together. It is an amazing process to be able to do that. Now, the one thing I can't decide, do I want these sprigs going the other direction? I might, like, just so it's not so matchy. I don't think I can go wrong on this one. I feel like they're gonna look good no matter what I do. I think I need them to go this way though. And again, I'm gonna just put glue kind of at the end, and there's one. This is the Close to My Heart gold glitter cardstock. It's pretty sturdy stuff. What I would recommend is when you die cut it, you cut it by itself and maybe run it through twice. It is really, it's really a great glitter cardstock, but it's a heavier cardstock. It's heavy, so you don't want, and I think I'm gonna pop this one too, because I feel like I need to. You guys probably get tired of watching me put foam tape on. I tried, if I, like at the tree, you know, if I know I'm gonna use foam tape, I've been trying to do that before, you know, before I go live, but a lot of times I'm on the fly. Like today, I had this general plan, and I pulled out my stamp sets, and it just so happened I had been using these stamp sets with the Silver Bells paper anyway, and So I had them in the right colors. I didn't really have like this totally thought out. I am going to put that on there. So oh, many of you should be getting your club layouts. I would love to kind of show you those. I don't want to, oh, I love that. Gosh, I'm loving this page, y'all. Okay. The third one, I feel like now that I did the crackle here and here, it needs to at least be between the crackle or to the edge like this. So I'm cool with that. But I have these ornaments. I gotta think about it, how I want this to look. This little postage. And instead of making another ornament at the bottom, I cut that little December. And then I have my sprigs. Do I like that? Would I rather move this whole thing over? I'm just going to check. No, I don't like that. The ornaments need to go back and forth, if nothing else. Okay, so that is how this is going to look. Let me go ahead and... Somebody's at my doorbell. I'm getting the message. So I have been Christmas shopping like a maniac. I bet you guys have too. Or maybe you're done. Are you guys done? Oh my gosh. I normally I don't have that much to buy for. I mostly buy for my immediate family, my dad, my sister, her kids. And we don't go too crazy. But this year, for some reason this year, I decided I wanted to do stockings. Well, stockings are a little tricky to do on a budget, and I've been looking on Amazon and stuff, looking for great deals for stocking stuffers, and I found some great ones, but that also means that I'm constantly looking for little things that'll fit in a stocking that are perfect for them, not just junky things to fill a stocking, you know what I mean? So I get delivery like every day right now. It's just part of the season, I guess. Okay. Wow. And wow. And wow. I really like how this looks. Now, the other thing that it needs is gems. And I have those, you know, gems that are like the white, silver, and gold or whatever. And I don't want to put gobs of them on, but I feel like I need a couple on each level, you know, just because I do. So I'm going to I'll do a couple there. Oh gosh, this is really gorgeous. I don't know if I need the biggest one. Well, maybe there, and a little one, and then maybe one over here. Oh, those are so pretty. Maybe I'll do 3 on each level just because in my head it needs to be even. Whether it will look like it needs to be even, I don't know, but there. And then this one, a little trickier. Oh gosh. Can I tell you how much? I don't know if I need that one. Yeah. I could put it on the ornament even. Ah. Okay. So there's the left page done. Boom. Boom. Love it so much. Love it so much. Okay, let's pull in that weird one. Now you saw I have all these wonky, kind of blotchy colors. And again, I'm gonna do a bit, I didn't want to do an exact like color block again, but I knew I wanted a I knew I wanted to make room for a 4x6 photo. I gotta tell you, I don't love using those 3x4 photos very much. I do, there are some photos that just are better, really small. But, and then this one is a 4x4. It's easy to cut my 4x6s down into 4x4. So that one is a no-brainer. Again, I put them on charcoal. That kind of anchors it to the other page. I have no idea how I want to put these. I'm just going to set them aside for a minute. So here's what I did. I went through my Silver Bells paper, and I have scraps, okay? And so I had a big bunch of this because I've been hoarding it like crazy. I love this stripe. It's my favorite, but I hadn't used this very much, and I really do like how this looks. And I thought about using that stripe, but it's very busy. It's very busy. So what I did was I just tore the paper towards me, kind of around the edges like this, to make it into kind of a rectangle. It's not a perfect rectangle by any stretch, but it'll work. And that way I have a block of color on my page, and I wanted it to be anchored with that toffee ink. Let me just tear a little bit more off of here. If you want a real even tear and you don't want it to be, you know, all crooked or whatever, then you can put it like on the edge of a table and tear it, and that works really good. All right, so have my gun do something weird. All right, I am going to put that in the corner, and I want the white space around the edges. And a lot of this will be covered up, right? I mean, if nothing else, with photos. So it'll just peek out a little bit. And now the other paper I had is, it has like the all over ornaments on one side and this on the other. And this is a little antique-y looking for me, but I do kind of like how this looks. And so, I want to tear it just a little bit. I like how these look torn. I'm using smaller, I'm using just a smaller tear. Instead of going down the whole thing, it does make a difference in how straight it tears. It also matters if you're going with the grain of the paper. Now, see these little scraps that I have that are torn? I'm going to use a couple of scraps in this also. And see, this is that mink color, and I wanted to anchor that mink over here. So I am going to go ahead and put that down. Let me put the bottom down real quick first. So the bottom, I had this mink paper, which I could have used over here, but on the other side is this really cool kind of softer charcoal print, and I want it at the bottom. And I could make it, I like it torn. I tore it on 3 sides. I think I'm going to tear it on the top as well, just to make I don't know, make it more even, I guess. This I only tore on 2 sides. It's mostly going to be covered up. All right, I'm gonna put this here, and I'm trying to leave about the same amount of white over here as I did over here, just to make it kind of even. And then I have this torn charcoal. Now this is a lighter shade of charcoal. I believe it's pewter. To be honest, when they discontinued, some of their colors, I swear they just went with a darker color of ink. Like, I think charcoal and pewter are very similar. Let me just show you. Let's see. I love pewter. It's one of my favorite colors, but it's discontinued. This is the new color, charcoal, and you can see they're in the same color family. They're all, I almost use them interchangeably. Okay. So I could have used pewter down here, you know, if you have pewter. Okay. Now I know that I want a 4x6. Now, a lot of my 4x6s at Christmas are landscape. If I'm going to do the tree, they're upright, but they're typically landscape when I'm doing people because there's several of us in the photo. And so I know I'm going to go ahead and put this on this way. And then the 4x4 can just be however. So I think I'm going to just put these on like that. And I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to make the decision and do it. Now, I'm not going to use gobs and gobs of adhesive on this mat. I can always pull it up if I need to, but I want to leave a little tuck space in the sides. So here's this one, just like that. And then the 4x4, I don't know, you know, the left-hand page, all the pictures are straight. They're not crooked in any way, like tilted. I'm not sure how that will look. Let me pull in that left page because, you know, you do kind of want, I want them to go together. Okay, so here is the left page that we just finished. And then we have this one. And so you can decide, like, do you want it straight? Do you want it, I want it straight. It needs to be straight. All right. Let me see. Okay. Sorry, I was looking on my floor. I thought I dropped something. Again, I may tuck, so don't want to have too much adhesive in the way. Okay, so I have these torn pieces. I have this one, and let's see. I have this one and this one. I just kind of took a piece that I had torn, and I want to use that stripe because I love that stripe. And so I can kind of tuck it in and use it on the sides or on the top. Anywhere I want it, I can use it wherever. I gotta think about that just for a minute. Oh, maybe I'll do this. All right. Yeah, I like that. If I put it on the top, that kind of anchors into that toffee. So I'm just gonna put a line of glue there and then work it in here. Like I said, I don't have very much adhesive. It'd be easy just to kind of pull that up just a little bit. I just want it tucked in just enough where it shows a little, but not too crazy. And then same at the top, a little bit of glue and tuck like that. Okay, and you can see it didn't really even matter that my piece was like torn all crazy because I just tucked it in more on one side. Okay, the other thing that I did in advance was I cut a piece of charcoal and a piece of white, and I had some stickers left on my sticker sheet. I don't have many stickers left. You saw I've been working on this. I have been working off of the sticker sheet for a while, and this is what I had left. I had a little strip of this cool pattern here. I had one of the messages, and I just put it on here so I would have a journaling spot, and it's going to go over here because I want a decoration over here. I don't want to put my decoration here because on the left-hand page, it's over here, so it would be side by side. That will not look good. It needs to be a balance. And so I'm going to go ahead and adhere. And we have that. And I have my little thing that I can tuck if I want to. Do I want to? I kind of like it at the bottom. It's a little different than the others, but that's okay. I'm gonna tuck that in. I think I'm off camera, but basically I'm just gonna put it right here at the bottom. Push, push. Okay. Now, something up here, right? I need something up here. Now, I do have this All Is Bright sticker on my sheet, and I could pull that in. I'm going to put that down here for a sec. I have another little piece of postage. I did go ahead and I have 3 more ornaments. I have some sprigs I can use. So, how do I want those to look? Do I want the toffee forward? What's everybody else got going on today? I kind of like the mink in the back a little bit. Yeah, that works for me. I definitely like the dark in the back. It almost looks black on camera, which is a lot. It's so gloomy and so rainy. I do need to make an errand. I need to run out and do a couple of things today, but other than that, I'm in and I'm making those Christmas cards and finishing those if it kills me. I need to get it done. It's I have a lot done. I send a lot, and I love Close to My Heart. I do. It is my favorite, and that is why I'm a maker for Close to My Heart. But there's other companies who have really cute things too, and I really love to play with all of my stamps at Christmas. They sit unused during most of the year, and I just feel like I need to use them. I need to use them up. So, all right. I love this little postage, and so that's why I'm sort of insisting on using it. And I really love this All Is Bright. To make it pop, I could put it on charcoal. I could put it on a strip of charcoal. It would really stand out, but I think I just need to make it taller than everything else. Here, I'm gonna put that on there a minute too. So to make it taller, I'm gonna use the thicker foam tape. Again, I'm sorry, you're sitting here watching me adhere. Adhesive, putting adhesive on is like watching paint dry. It's really boring. So I really do usually try to have all this done, but okay. And I try to use Close to My Heart like foam tape more than these little squares. I just happened to pull out the little squares today. Okay. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay, let me put my sprigs down a little bit first. Try to decide how I want these to be. I may only want 2 colors. This keeps sticking to my hand. Now, if you're like me, you have too much glue under there, it's going to stick out too much. Just cut it off. It's not that big of a deal. Just make sure you have enough to adhere it. So there's that. And do the same thing on that one. I'm just going to cut it off. Doesn't need to be quite so long. I like it. Now, the only other thing I have left are these little sprigs, which I could, yeah, I'll put those on. These crazy things are so small, so small. Again, use the adhesive sheets if you try these. They're just so tiny. They're so tiny. That's annoying. All right, and this glue is incredible. This is the Barely Arts glue. It is so much better than any other glue. Close to my heart carries the, green top mono and the blue top mono adhesive, which they're both, they're great glues. It's a great glue. But this glue is like, it dries so much faster and it's so amazing. I can't even tell you how much better. All right, I'm gonna put that there. There we go. I love it. Love how that turned out. We have, the only thing I really have left is some gems. And now I want to use one of all 3. And I'll just use, like, I don't know, different sizes around them. So there's that. How about a little gold and a larger white. Nice. Okay. All right. Let me look at my sticker sheet one more time. What if I have something I can use? I have one more of these little doodads. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I don't really have much on here. I have good tidings, peace, love, joy, and believe. That's what I have. So I'm like using them up, man. All right. I'm slowly using up now I do have, okay, just so you know, I do have a whole another sticker sheet that I can use, but I'm trying to use that one up because gosh, just so crazy. All right, let's see. So here's the finale. Ba-boom. I think I might show my club layout also. So if any of you are in the club and you don't have yours yet, please feel free to end at the end of this. Look at that. I love the color block look. I love how it looks next to this page. It's a little hard to see, all tied in together, but I love it. And the other thing I thought about adding is a little shimmer brush. Now I bought a new clear shimmer brush, and it has, what you do to get it started is you take off this little yellow ring, it's garbage, and then you put it back together, push and turn and twist that on really good, and then it pops that open, okay? So this is garbage, that little yellow, and then you can shimmer brush away on everything, and you just push this and squeeze. All right, there is today's layout, and let me just grab the club layouts. I say just, like they're right next to me, but I guess I'll have to show them Wednesday. I think I took them next door. Because I'm getting ready to mail them out. Oh, I'll show them later. Okay, so this is the color block, and this is the page. And I will catch you all later, and I'll probably put a photo of that online. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you giving up your time for me, because I enjoy doing this so much. Have a good afternoon.